Hi, good afternoon, Sophie and Colin. This is Will and Steph here from SDSC. So thanks for joining us today on our first ever athletes Q&A session. So can we get your help to introduce yourselves and where you're working or studying at now?
Okay. Hi, I'm Sophie Soon, and I am working at Toyota Motor Asia Pacific.
Hi, I'm Colin, and I study at Mayflower Secondary School.
Hey, hi guys. So at the moment, Singapore is having the circuit breaker. So how are things for you all both with the home-based learning as well as work from home situation?
I think technology has made it very easy for us to do our home-based learning or work from home. Like, for example, most of my meetings, instead of having it in person, we just convert it to online meetings. And emails still stay the same because I brought home my laptop. So I'll just do all my emails and liaising with other colleagues via my emails. So in that sense, thanks to technology, has made it a lot easier to work from home personally for myself. Colin?
It's the same, huh?
So this one's actually from one of the members of the public. So the question is, how did both of you actually start swimming?
For myself, it was my mom wanted to put me into swimming so that I would gain more water confidence, because I wasn't very confident being in the water, and she also wanted me to be safe if I were to ever enter the water on my own next time when I got older and I decided to go out with friends, and in the event we ever decided to go somewhere that had water, be it a pool or going to the beach. She wanted to ensure that I knew how to swim so that I'll be safe. So we started doing learn to swim sessions at one of my mom's friends' condo pools. And personally, I actually didn't really enjoy it. Like the first time I went there, I didn't really enjoy the feel of swimming. I much preferred to be on land than being in water. So after I finished my bronze certificate, I stopped swimming for about a year. I joined a swim instructor who does one-to-one sessions for persons with disabilities, and he teaches them how to learn to swim. So I started his sessions with him, and it started building my confidence a lot more in water. And from then I started enjoying being in water a lot more, and he strongly encouraged me to start doing competitive swimming. So I started doing some competitive swimming at my country club at the age of 15, which is quite late for most people. And but the passion developed from there. I don't think you need an age to start your passion for competitive swimming or for anything for that matter.
So it all happened for me when I was about 3. I was at a small little competition with my sister. So then she was warming down in the training pool, and I was just squatting at the side, teasing her. I was like, I'm gonna fall in. And then after a while, I actually did fall in, and I just climbed back out and went vacantly. So after that, my mom thought water safety is a very important point for me and signed me up for Learn to Swim. But then she and I quickly found out that I really enjoy water. So then I quickly learned how to swim, and then I basically went almost straight to like competitive swimming after I done that. So when I was about 6, I started to train competitively, and that's where it all started from there onwards.
So how was it like competing in the same sport as your sibling?
I guess it does make us like, it does give us one extra topic in common to talk about, like when it comes to swimming. And I think like it's nice to know that you have someone at home that you can talk to and can relate to your problems, because swimming is something a bit specific. It's like if you're in it, then we can talk about it, but if you're not in it, it's very difficult to create conversation with someone who is in it. So it's nice that I have Colin at home, and we can talk about it. Like if ever we have any struggles, or something that we have succeeded in, or milestone we have crossed, it's nice to be able to share that with someone at home, and talk about it. And I guess that makes us a bit closer in a way. But I mean, we also have other topics that we also talk about apart from swimming.
For Colin?
Same.
Okay, so the first trip that Colin and I actually embarked on together was in Phuket, and that was the first trip we went on together that wasn't locally based, and it was nice having him there because he is family, literally family. So it was nice having family within the team, and I do get homesick very easily. So it's nice that he was there. So it makes it a little bit more homely in a sense, being my brothers on the team with me. But also, I guess being siblings and competing in the same sport does have its challenges in the sense that I guess me being the older sister, sometimes I may put a bit too much pressure onto Colin, where I would expect him to be progressing in a certain rate, or pointing him in a certain direction that he may or may not be wanting to go. And I think I have to remind myself that, just because I'm his sister and just because I see him more often than any other swimmer, doesn't give me the right to point him in a direction that I believe that he should be going, or tell him that he should be progressing at a certain rate that I think is right. I have to remind myself that he's a person, and yes, I do know his capability maybe better than any other swimmer, but that does not give me the right. I think he has to progress at his own rate, and he has to choose his own direction, just like how I progressed at my own rate and I chose my own directions on my own.
You both actually competed and represented Singapore at last year's World Para Swimming World Series. So how was that experience for the both of you? Maybe Colin can start first.
Okay. So the experience for me was a little strange because the previous time I had international competition was overseas at the Asian Youth Para Games 2017 in Dubai. So I had to travel abroad, but this time there was an international competition, but in Singapore. So it didn't exactly feel like an international competition, but at the same time, because like you're not going overseas, but then there's like a lot more foreigners and people from from all over the world, like just in the same locality as you. So I don't know, it's a bit strange, but I find it very enjoyable to be like at home but also competing internationally at the same time. And I met a few international swimmers also, and we got along fine.
Yeah, and for Sophie, how was that experience? How was the WPS experience for you?
Very homely, because most of my competitions I've done were overseas, and the last time I competed at international competition that was in Singapore was the 2015 ASEAN Para Games. I think we progressed very far from the last time we had the 2015 ASEAN Para Games, being that now there's so much more awareness about para swimming and para sports. I think Singapore Disability Sports Council did a very good job in promoting the sport and promoting the para scene altogether, because now we had a much bigger crowd. We had so many volunteers, new volunteers especially, that were so excited to be on scene, on deck, to help out with the competition. And I actually did have some friends on deck as well, so it was nice, having seen friends and familiar faces on deck to bring me to the pool, to pass me my lanyard, to collect my lanyard, and basically do the whole scene, which is, it's so friendly, because when I'm overseas, basically everybody there's a stranger. I came in first by time, but because I can't see where my positioning is compared to the other swimmers, I didn't know that I was coming in first. So watching back the video, I realized that the crowd actually made a big difference, because I remember swimming and hearing the crowd roar, and my legs were burning, my arms were so tired, but I was like, hey, knee, keep going. I really don't know what's going on, but it seems like something exciting is happening. So I just went on, and it helped me achieve a personal best, and as well achieve first by timing and third by points in the B final. So that was a good race to remember. I think one of my best races that I had so far in my swimming career. And it was really nice that I managed to do it in front of home crowd, in front of my family who got to see it live. I think because I competed so much overseas, my family barely gets to see any of my races in person. So it's nice, having to achieve that in front of my family.
Great. Also, in terms of family support, we have questions from the public. A couple of questions. So it says, "Hi siblings, what would you like to say to your mummy? And how has she supported your journey?"
Colin, want to go first?
Okay. Thanks, Mom. Go on.
Okay, for me, hi Mommy. Thank you for waking up at 4:30 in the morning to make me breakfast before morning training, for driving me to morning training, for picking me up after afternoon training or evening training, for making food for me and making sure that we have enough food to eat before and after training, making sure that we have the correct nourishment amount. As you can see, we're not very big people, so it's important that we have enough food when we're training. And she really ensures that we have all the support needed as much as she can provide. And she does a lot of research on her own on what we should be doing at home for recovery, be it stretching, be it sports massage, be it nutrition. She helps us do a lot of research to ensure that we are getting the correct amount of support that we need as she can give as a mother. And I think maybe a little bit more than beyond what quite a few mothers do for their children for sports. So I think we are very, very fortunate to have our mom to be there to really ensure that we have adequate support so that we can continue our career as athletes, and also on top of that, not just athletes, but just as her children, sending Colin to school, picking me up from the MRT if I'm very tired after work or after meeting my friends and I don't want to walk back home, so she'll, okay, I'll pick you up from the MRT. So I think it's nice that she's there for us. I think more than just as a parent of two athletes, but just being our mom. She's really, really great, and I think she supports us in every single aspect as athletes and as non-athletes. So thank you, Mommy.
All right, so the question for both Sophie and Colin, maybe we'll start with Sophie first. How can Singapore be more supportive to athletes, with impairments or without?
I guess we can all be more involved in sports in general, because it's easier to support something that you already know. For example, me being in swimming, generally I watch a lot more swimming videos. Like I'll watch the USA swimming, or I'll be watching the Olympic swimming or Paralympic swimming. So when you're involved in a sport, generally you would want to know more about it and find out more about it. So I think first of all, we have to all be involved in some sort of a sport before we can start wanting to voluntarily support it. Because if you don't know much about it, it's very difficult for you to want to support something that you have very little knowledge about or know nothing about. So first of all, get involved in the sport. Secondly, I think it's good that we support our own local athletes. I know a lot of Singaporeans that are big fans of overseas sports teams, be it for football or for rugby. I think these are more common sports that a lot of people are very supportive of. And it's good that we are involved in those sports and those teams. But I think it's also good that we are also involved and supportive of our own teams, and because through this support is how we develop as a nation to take a step forward in our sporting scene, be it the para scene or the non-para scene. We should be taking steps forward, and the support of the nation definitely makes a big difference in how we would be able to progress in our sports.
What were some of the initial challenges that both of you had to overcome before taking up sports? So were there any initial apprehensions or fears, and how did you all overcome that?
I think generally, for myself, I wasn't a very confident person. Like I didn't really believe in myself that much. And if let's say something didn't go my way, because it wasn't because of me, but because it happened externally, I would get affected by it quite badly. So I think there were a lot of factors that I felt that made me not suitable for sport, and I felt that I wouldn't be ready. And plus, my body size, I was very, very small. I was extremely petite, even more petite than I am now. So all the more I felt there's no way that I could do sport. I didn't enjoy sport. I did not like pushing myself to limits that I felt that I wouldn't be able to achieve. I like being comfortable. I like being where I was. But through my swimming sessions, my learn to swim sessions, I slowly built more and more confidence and started getting more adrenaline when I went for like mini competitions. And if let's say I did a personal best in that competition, it made me feel happy. It made me feel like I achieved something, and it started making me want more and more out of my sport and out of swimming. And that's when I took it to the next level to start doing competitive. And I think overall it started building my overall confidence, not just in sport but also outside sport. I started becoming more confident in myself. I started expecting more of myself, and I realized that goal setting is something that is very important, both in and out of sport. I think it's good to know what you should be achieving and what's your next milestone that you can achieve, so that you can continue the momentum and that whatever you're doing doesn't feel like it's a dead end or you have achieved everything there is to achieve, because there is never a full stop to anything unless you put a full stop to it. So I think it improved my overall well-being and my overall lifestyle and myself as a person after I started doing a lot more sport. And I'm very grateful to what sport has helped me become and how it has shaped me today.
Thanks, Sophie. What about Colin? I think Colin, especially since you started so young, were there any challenges that at that young age that you thought you couldn't do it, but what allowed you to believe that you could?
There was hardly any challenges actually. It was just going forward and forward and forward. But then as I got older, there was like more and more problems, like motivation problems, and also I've progress problem, so I do not advance as fast as I used to, so I get demotivated and all that stuff. But when I was young, it was very smooth sailing. I started swimming and then I jumped straight into competitive, and then I was happy where I was. So that's about it.
Colin, I have a question for you. What would you say for younger people, actually younger kids who wish to take on a sport? How would they cope with school and training?
If one would want to pick up a sport at a young age, they need to know how to prioritize their time and weigh their necessities. So if they got schoolwork, my mom will always say, just do it first, just do it as soon as it comes out, so you can get out of the way, and then if you have time later you can just like relax. But the main gist of it is just to do the most important things first and then keep the less important things for later.
Thank you for tuning in today and submitting your questions. Stay home and be safe.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.